I have a big problem, and it's not my upload schedule.
Jesus Christ.
I'm getting married soon, and this car isn't even close to being ready. Wait, no, not this car, not this car. Let me show you. This is my Mazda Miata, and it's in pretty rough condition. And if I don't get this done in time for the wedding, I'm gonna have to sell it. And honestly, it's been about time. I've had the car for about 5 years, and it hasn't run since. We finally got it from my parents' house to here now, my new garage. And I kinda need it finished. But this is kinda where things get cool. I got a house, and with it came a 3-car garage, which has been a mess the entire time.
But now that I have the garage and a place to work on the Miata, it should be pretty easy to get it running, right? After 3 years of sitting in my parents' driveway, we finally brought the Miata home. And I'm starting to think that this is my comeback arc. I mean, the plan's simple, right? First, we need to get it running and driving. Now, I did a lot to this car already. First, I installed electrical power steering, then I got new spark plugs. Oh wait, did I mention my new fuel rail, pressure regulator, injectors, and fuel pump? Might as well toss in those braided lines too while I'm at it. Oh, and don't forget the new Mega Square ECU. Why did I do this again? Oh right, because I wanted to turbo this thing. But that's like step 3 anyways. If you go to step 2, you can see that really what I wanted to do was wide body this. You might be wondering now, what did you have to do for that, Adam? Well, I painted my wheels white, installed tank coilovers, threw on a control arm because I thought I needed more room for the coilover. Spoiler alert, I didn't. 3D printed a honeycomb taillight, learned 3D modeling so I could make it a little bit better. And then I installed it with a Boom Gang 6-speed finish panel that doesn't even fit right. Then I finally cut my fender and put on BRZ wide body panels because I was cheap and I thought Rocket Bunny was overdone. Only to fast forward a few years and be completely enlightened by the beauty of PistonZero.
Some say it was designed by a committee of architects who hated door frames, and that the arches are so wide that they require their own zip code. But when the car looks less like a roadster and more like a thunderstorm that chose violence, that's when you begin to understand
The elegance of this body kit. How it contours with the very machine that it supports. The scoops, the functional vents, everything about it just screams perfect.
And if you listen closely, on a quiet evening, you can almost hear it whisper that stock was never the option. And it's gonna be on my Miata.
This thing is insane, and the people building it run a small shop all the way in Thailand by the name of Mazda Garage. They made it happen. They took the PZ rendering and made the best wide body kit I've seen in years. And this isn't a single build, so let's get this car running. The first thing I thought to do was check the fuel system that I installed, because knowing me, I would have messed something up. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Happy. He's my cousin. He used to hate cars, but now he owns a Supra and it's his baby.
I'm gonna fuck your mother.
Yeah, he came through to help out, well, because, you know. And a few bolts later, we got the soft top out to access the fuel pump relay. We wanted to see if there was any power to it. And the soft top doesn't really matter to me. I'm just like, whatever, because I got a hard top. Talk to me different.
3.5.
Low voltage, no good. We picked up a new battery from O'Reilly's and it was like $240. It's absolutely insane.
12, we're good. I said it was the battery too, and you asked like,
Should we open the garage in case it smells? Don't crank it all the way. Let's do a fuel pump first.
What is that?
Yeah, so remember my power steering unit? That's kind of causing my wipers to not have enough power, and so that's making that noise.
Oh, the wipers work too now. They weren't working before. Do you want to try starting it?
It's in gear, Take it out of gear.
told you.
Okay, cool, so end the video.
Psych!
Do you really think I would just leave it like that? We didn't even check if it could run. And it sounds like it has a timing issue too.
We got it to run, but now we have to figure out how to do timing, and I have zero clue how to do that. I need to install an O2 sensor underneath this car. And then I need these wirings to be properly mounted correctly. To be
Holy yeah, Batman, what the hell is all that? Give us some action.
And check the timing without it actually starting. It's safer to do it that way if you think you might.
So it's up to us now to figure out timing. And to be honest, we've never done this. Now there was a lot of uncertainty that came with figuring out how to time the car with the new ECU, but after about 30 minutes we finally figured out where the timing mark should be on the pulley. But we were having trouble seeing it.
What are you trying to do? Wipe it off.
Turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off. It's not running right at all. The pulleys weren't spinning. At all. Or at least it wasn't showing on the video. I don't think I should have. It's burning oil somewhere.
Honestly, it wasn't even oil, it was fuel. But this is why not everyone should be a YouTuber. I was using my phone's camera, but the frame rates might not align with the timing light. Just from this POV alone, you can see the lights not showing up on my phone, but it was still blinking. Since we couldn't see the timing mark, we moved the stinky car outside and cranked it by hand.
You know how much easier this would be from underneath?
Why are you moving it so far?
So I'm trying to get to it.
Oh, okay. How much what?
You know how much easier it would be if we were underneath it? And we could just do it from underneath?
That'd be crazy. What are you trying to do now?
Cleaning it.
Clean it?
I'm cleaning it, yes, so the paint stays.
Yeah, my bad, damn. Let's do some chickens.
So to make it easier for us, we took some leftover paint I had and painted the pulley because Mazda thought it was a great idea to just use a notch instead of a mark. Like, it would have been so easy, just paint it. Anyways, I'm over it. We're finally ready to do the timing, but then I find out something not so great. The tuning software I was using wasn't communicating with my ECU. I got so worried I thought all was lost. I did all this work, bought all these fancy parts, and just like that it was over. I just felt hopeless. But any great challenge can be overcome. So we pushed and we pushed and we pushed up until we figured it out.
We just spent the last 3 hours trying to figure out this Mega Squirt stuff. And what we figured out was I was on a firmware version 5664 or something. That was updated in 2023. My version of the Mega Squirt base map that I wanted is on from the 2017 firmware release. I bought the Mega Squirt around 2021. So what that means is I downgraded my firmware and I finally was able to upload my base map, which means now I have to wait for a power cycle through the Miata and hopefully we'll get something good. Mark 2, round 2, try it again. Fingers crossed.
And just like that, crisis averted. We're still running rough, so my first thought here was to check our fuel pressure. Cause like, why not the pressure regulator, right? That's related to the injector timing, right? Right? You wouldn't download a fuel pressure regulator, would you? Yeah, so there's a lot of smoke, and that wasn't working either.
Still doesn't sound right. So
Well,
we
what else
fixed
did you
fuel
tune?
pressure.
Was there anything else in the video that you did?
I think, no, I think the wideband sensor. I think it's not gonna run right unless we put wideband.
How much is that?
I already have it.
So the wideband sensor tells the computer if it's putting too much fuel in the mixture, right? And this sensor usually goes after the catalytic converter, but my car didn't come with one because it's so old. So we took out my MIG welder and we practiced. Okay, good enough for me. Let's get this bung installed.
Oh, no way! Oh, I'm fucking tripping! There's a bung on this!
And that bung saves us so much time and effort. Thank you, Magnaflow, for this beautiful exhaust.
I even got that open. I haven't been to the gym like 2 weeks.
I'm trying to figure out the wiring for the wideband sensor. It was a miracle that we didn't have to weld the bung for the wideband. Let's get into it and get the wiring done so I can get the controller in, fix up the ECU, and hopefully get the Miata running so we can get on with the build.
Now that we figured out this first part with the oxygen sensor, we can move on to wiring the control box, which takes the data from that sensor and distributes it to our gauge and our ECU. Now the first thing we need is power. There's 4 wires, red, yellow, orange, and black or ground. Red is switched, orange is for dimming, and yellow is the constant 12 volt. This is where it starts to get weird though. I had good ground, good power, but I couldn't figure out switch power because I wired the constant already. right here is where I put the constant power, but I'm just gonna remove it, reconnect the battery, and then figure out where 12 volt is, and then maybe dimming. I don't know. We'll see. Here. And then I just got to testing everything, but honestly, thank goodness I did, because randomly, this happened.
What the hell?
And that reminded me to look at my fuse box instead of tapping into a random wire, which is exactly where I found the culprit. This is the engine fuse slot, and the circuit behind it seems to have a delay that interferes with some signals in the ECU of the power steering. I'm not an electrician now, but what I do know is that full lock on startup almost every time is weird, and I'll be changing the fuse slot almost immediately. It's connected, ignition's not on. Very beautiful, 0. Now I go like this. Ignition, please. 12 volts, I did it! Yes. I was out this for hours, and electrical work doesn't come easy to me, so this was a big win. Get in there, that feels so good! Oh, fuck. I hit my head. French toast. Oh God. Right there. Now that's over. So we have power. Now the last thing we need to do is send data to our ECU via the data logging cable. There are 2 wires here, brown and black. Essentially signal and signal ground. We'll be sending both to the Mega Squares option plug, and we'll also ground the wideband here too. Alright, so we got most of the wiring done. I got the options plug ready with the 3, so signal, signal ground, and actual ground should be good to go after that. So now we plug in the sensor, reconnect the constant power, and finish plugging it all together to give it a good test. Hopefully it should work now. Test number 3. Oh, yup! It's connecting! Whoa, it's working. But that was, so satisfying. Let me show. I mean, it has to calibrate too, so I'm worried that since I turned it off, I won't be able to know that it calibrates correctly, but I want this to work so bad. Okay, but look here. Key in, no power. Okay. And then we have a wideband controller. It's reading a code, but I don't really care. It's fine. Turns off when the key's off. Oh my God. This is exhilarating. This is absolutely exhilarating. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a wideband. I need to just install the exhaust back on, and then hopefully I can get a tune on it just to get it running. For God's sake, please. And then you know what comes next. This wideband controller is really the last thing left to get a good bass tune. However, since I upgraded my injectors, I doubt that I can get the configuration correct on my own. So the only thing left to do is bolt my exhaust back onto the car and hope for the best. Oh, that's a nice click. I'm using Tuner Studio, and half the time, I honestly don't know what I'm looking at. But they have so much documentation that I can reference that it gives me confidence that I can get something going. The first place I'm going to focus on is getting my wideband settings right so I can read the value from my signal wire. And then it's just time to test. Turn this back on. Alright, here goes nothing. It runs nice! Okay, it's better. Oh my God, it's smoking hella. That is bad. So the thing about the old fuel injectors is that they have a fuel flow rate of 260 cc, right? These new ones, it's at 725. So now I have to update the ECU to make sure that I'm not just dumping fuel. Now, if my research is correct, the value that's supposed to limit how much fuel I'm dumping is reading at 3.2, but on my new calculations, it should be around 1. I'm about to go on the computer and try to figure it out. Basic load settings, engine and sequential settings, And so in here, this was listed as 11.7. This was listed at 230, and then my engine size is the 1.6 liter. I honestly went to ChatGPT and I was like, yo, here are the specs, give me what I need. So it took the 11.7, you divide it by the new injector size, multiply it by the old, according to Car Passion Channel's video, and basically that gave us 3.71 milliseconds. So that is what I put in Tuner Studio right here. From my understanding, it's just supposed to be like a suggestion, so hopefully my car does this thing, and all I need to do is get it running decently. I don't need it to be perfect right now. We can get a tuner to do stuff later because I have no clue what I'm doing. Remember, I have no clue what I'm doing. It's still reading really high. And there was... I still saw smoke coming out of the car. Can't catch a break. Can we turn that off? It's like everything I'm doing just doesn't go the way I hope. I feel defeated. Again, hopeless. So I've been doing a bunch of reading. I've been here for about 20 minutes and it looks like I might need to just take it to a tuner because there's stuff about dead timing, some voltage number that has to do with dead timing, and it's beyond me. So I think it's time to take this to a professional because I've done all that I can and we can figure it out from there. With that being said, I think it's time to get this car back on the ground and see if it can actually drive. So hopefully we get the smoke out of the garage and into the atmosphere where it belongs. So feeling defeated, I muster up what I can and look to button up my wiring. Toss some zip ties, and I tuck the sensor wire behind the fuse box. Since I came this far, I decided to maybe just give it a try. Take it outside and give it a spin. Moment of truth. Sounds pretty good. Driving it for the first time in 3 years feels good. It's not like it's driving perfect or not running too lean, but I can actually shift it. I can actually put it in gear. The idle is unstable, there's smoke everywhere, but I finally have it driving. So the gauge was reading at 20 the entire time. I was holding the clutch the entire time because if I let go of it, then the revs just drop. Pretty sure it's running lean still. So now I gotta air out the garage yet again. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys soon. And on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment on what color I should make the Miata next. And I will see you all in the next video very soon, like very soon.